In the first shot there will be an establishing shot of the young man's bedroom. The pan of the room shows that he is quite messy and unorganised because of all the clothes and stuff on the floor, and the lighting is low key and we can't see his face, which shows to the audience that there's some sort of mystery. In the next shot there is a close-up of his alarm clock going off, and he responds to it with a moan and his hand reaching over to turn it off. This again shows his lazy side, and this shot is followed by a shot of him sitting on the edge of his bed. There is then a slight pan up from his feet to reveal his face. A jump cut will then occur to various close-ups, long shots and mid-shots of him walking down the street. This is when we are then introduced to the character. His name is Ben, and we find out that he is about 20 years old and he works at a local cafe. He tells us a variety of information about him, including how he never really fitted in at school, etc. We find this information out using a voiceover. After the voiceover, we are taken to a shot of him opening up Hicks Cafe, the place of which he works. The long shot of him opening the door reveals Venetian blinds in the windows, which is a typical convention of film noir. And not only this, but they will have major significance later on when the femme fatale is introduced. The next scene will consist of a number of close-up shots of him doing various routine jobs like washing the mugs and working the tills, etc. We are then introduced to the femme fatale. It will start with a point of view shot and over the shoulder shot of Ben looking out towards his customers, and from outside through the window and the Venetian blinds you will see the femme fatale walk past and walk into the shop. There will be various cut shots from his face to different areas of her body, but her face will not be revealed straight away. Finally, there will be a pan up of her whole body to reveal a very attractive and seductive young woman. The pan could also link to him, as it is the way he was introduced as well. There are then a number of quick cuts that show them chatting, and this is when she eventually leaves the shop, making the audience curious as to what is going to happen. I then thought of the idea that there would now be a number of flash forwards of them two together, ranging from picnics to the cinema and restaurants, and this shows to the audience that they have formed a bond and they could have possibly fallen in love with each other. This is a typical convention of film noir, as love between the main protagonist and the femme fatale is usually the outcome. However, this scene is then cut short with a repeat of her walking into the cafe, but this time instead of slow seductive movements she is seen to be in some distress. Various close-up shots of her face show that she has been crying, or still is crying, and this makes the audience think whether or not that there has been a feud between her and Ben, or whether it's for a different reason. However, she runs up to him and gives him a hug, so this could suggest that they haven't fallen out at all. They talk, and she reveals to Ben how her brother is being kept hostage unless she can get a large amount of money to the people that are holding him. This is where the twist is, because he agrees to help her by going to meet with her brother's kidnappers. The screen then fades to black and fades back again, but this time it is down a dark alleyway, and there are plenty of low angle shots as well as shadows and dark corners. We see Ben walk down the dark alleyway and are shocked by the sound of a gun. He falls to the ground and is left lying dead on the ground, whilst the murderer, who is seen as a shadow, stands there and then walks off. There is a zoom into Ben's eye and a cross cut to her, the femme fatale's eye, and she's walking down the street. This shows that the night has passed and she is going to meet him, not knowing what has happened. However, we don't see her going into the cafe, we see her going to a house next door the cafe. This is very suspicious, because you would think that if she was looking for him, that she would go into the cafe instead of walking past it. This will leave the audience quite shocked, and this scene will then be followed by one of her collecting money from a man with his back facing the audience, so they cannot see who he is, and create a mysterious effect, and also this could link to the person who shot Ben down the alleyway. And this is where hopefully I want the audience to realise that she only got close to Ben because she'd been told to, and in order for her to get money she needed to find more information about him and then get him to go somewhere for them to kill him. The scene of her collecting money is then finished, and this is the finish of the story, by a close-up shot of the femme fatale's face, and she's got a slight grin on her face. It then fades to black.